My name's Steve Gardner, and I'm from Tennessee. I actually saw the movie for the first time quite by accident. I was traveling with my family, and we were in a town south of Memphis, and in the hotel room that night, we were decided to watch a movie, and it so happened that the TV system or cable system that they had a category for first run movies. So we spotted School of Rock and thought, yeah, this looks good. So we watched it together, and it, I guess, was not only a bonding experience, but it was such a good movie, the entertainment aspect of it, and all the lessons that were in the movie, that we just, really kind of became endeared to it. And my youngest son was kind of a springboard for him to encourage him in his music and guitar playing. In fact, he still plays. He lives in Nashville, and he and his band were in the studio last Sunday night. They had 4 hours of studio time in Nashville, so I have not heard the product of that yet, but he's still playing, so, that's 20 years later. The School of Rock props, interestingly, were kind of discarded. The production company relegated them to this storage facility. It was in an industrial area of Brooklyn. The inventory sheets that were placed in the boxes indicates that they were put into storage in February of 2003, and I guess whoever was paying the storage fees got tired of the expense, because they called the guy up and they said, get rid of this stuff, we're not going to use it. So he started just setting it out on the street, and the reason I know all this is because I found out that he was selling School Rock movie items, and I found his phone number, and I called the guy on the phone. By the time he got ready to get rid of all this stuff, it was like 2 years later, so it was March of 2005 when I came along. The guy said, I'd sold all the guitars, but I've got the drum set left that was in Battle of the Man Scene. And I said, what else you got? And so he named off some other things, and I said, I'll take all that stuff. And it took about a month to work out the logistics, but he finally relented and boxed up all drums, and he threw some extra stuff in there with it, and whatever paperwork that Paramount Pictures had with it. They had prop sheets, inventory sheets. Some of them were a little sketchy, but it supported the origin of these props. And I'll never forget the day they arrived at the house. A UPS truck pulled up in my backyard, and through the door of the truck opened, and there was 8 boxes, big boxes of School of Rock props and drum kits. That's how it started with me acquiring the props, which turned out the drum set itself turned into a whole story that lasted 17 years for me getting it back to Kevin. This particular display includes a sweatshirt that was worn in the film with the Horace Green Academy patch, and beneath that is a sweater that was worn by the character Michelle, played by Jordan Claire Green. And during filming, there must have been some mix-up, because it had all of these sweaters had the names of the actors written in the tag, and of course they had a wardrobe tag number. But this one had originally been Katie, the bass player, Rivka Reyes, and they marked through that and put Michelle on there. And the lanyard is from the Battle of the Band scene at near the end of the film. And if you remember, all the backstage hands that were working the Battle of the Bands had these lanyards, and that's how they identified themselves. So those are all pretty cool pieces. This is one of the iconic pieces from the film. It's the t-shirt. It says School Rock, a hand-painted t-shirt. This is one of the wool jackets that the children wore in the film, with the harsh green patch on the breast pocket. And this is a set of drumsticks that Kevin played in the movie.
Music is like my main source of happiness, honestly. In a bad mood, put some music on and I completely go somewhere else. And that's honestly why I even started singing too, just because I noticed how many people would like be like so excited and happy after do a performance I found to be good. But yeah, just seeing other people be able to kind of like forget whatever's going on in their life and just for a moment be captured and safe like space. And yeah,
I think music means everything. I think it's just like it's a part of ourselves as human beings. Like music is just within us, and I think it's just it's like the most powerful thing in my world, really, is music. You know, I think it's just a part of all of us. And like she said, it doesn't matter who you are, you can just bring something out of people through music, and everyone's kind of in it together.
You just gotta jump into it. There's no other way to do it.
I'd say for, someone just getting into music, the best thing you can do is find either an instrument or a style that you think is really fun and you can see yourself doing for like hours on end. Because, if you're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah.
But once you start having fun, just it's yeah.
Yeah.
Once you start having fun, it's so great, and you can do so much shit.
I would say just like don't give up, and if you're doing something and you think that it sounds good, then it is good because you like it. And if you want to do music and you like what you're doing, then you're on the right track, and don't get discouraged.
It's tough, and but you got to practice. Nobody likes to practice, but you're not going to be what you think you are. It takes a lot, but you got to try. It took a lot for me to play in front of people, and then I finally did. I could do it, and then you get back and you keep practicing and getting better, and then sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do, or some gigs are better than others, and you just learn from it. So yeah, there's no money in it. Everybody will tell you they play it because they like to do it. And that's the people you want to play with. People who like to do it. Keep at it. Practice. That's the key.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What does music mean to you? I know you don't play any music.
Yeah, I don't play any music. It means a lot because obviously you listen to certain songs and you feel it. Like there's songs that hit really hard. But for me, it's more so my kids. Like my daughter is so into it. She loves to sing. She's so musically inclined. And so like, to me, it's just more like, I want that to be a thing for her. So that's what it means to me. Cause like, I never really had a passion. Like I played piano for a minute. That's it. Like I never had a passion for music, but like seeing my daughter with her uncle playing the guitar and playing the drums, like that was the best thing. And that's what it means to me, is just like the fact that it's inspiring other people, really. It's just like music inspires people. I mean, you listen to a certain beat and you're like, okay, I'm going to start crying now. Like that's like, music touches everybody in so many different ways. It's crazy.
I mean, I'd love to teach, just be more confident and be able to be your goofiest self on stage and stuff, because that'd be awesome. But it's also okay if you wait till you're a little bit older, too, to express yourself. But I wish I didn't wait, because I feel like I'm still totally learning. So if you feel like you've got a gift, go for it, you know?
What do you think Kevin would say to like kids who are wanting to get into music?
Do whatever you want to do. That's what he would tell them, is do literally whatever you want to do. And if it makes you happy, then do that.
Yeah.
And don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not good enough. That's what he would tell them, is like, it doesn't matter. This is your passion and this is what you want to do, do it. And the Ordinary Hero Kids are literally the product.
Example.
They're the prime example of it. And that's awesome to me. Like, that's just, you literally inspired millions of people, let alone local people. Like, these were people you taught personally. But at the end of the day, you also taught millions of people to just do what they want to do, because you came out with this amazing movie that is a cult favorite. Like, it's a cult classic. I mean, people tell me all the time they watch it just for comfort.
Throughout the week, there could be times where I'm feeling angry or feeling emotional or something like that. And when I'm on the drums, like, I'm just trying to hit them as hard as I can, to be honest. Like, while playing the song the right way, I mean, you could probably ask people and they'll tell you I hit really hard. I guess I just take all my emotions out and anger out on the drums pretty much, and I hit those things hard, man. Like, I've broken sticks before. I've busted a few cymbals at Scooter Rock. So yeah, I mean, I just take all my feelings out doing that.
I sometimes think music is God. I hadn't thought about that in a long time, and I don't always think that. But there's something about music that does all of the things short of clothe, house, and feed a person, right? It's not going to protect you from the elements. You know, you can't eat it and you can't wear it, but it pretty much does everything else that a person needs. Emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. There's so few things, and I include religion, when I say there's almost nothing else that covers that much vital interior territory. And to me, that's divine. So I'm very grateful for music, and from a very, very young age, it just was my sanctuary, my place of refuge, and kept me, I would say, healthily balanced between sane and the good version of insane, the kind you want. And you know, so to me, it's just this very magical, nourishing, enlivening, like a cosmic agent in a way. And the other thing about it is it seems to have that effect on everyone. Not the same music, obviously, but it's so rare that there's something that operates on such a deep, dependable level the way music seems to for most people. Like, not literature, not art, not movies, not TV. It's more like love, the way love does. It sort of works the way love works. Like, when it hits you, it's just, that's it. It's over.
What kind of impact has music had on your life?
A huge impact. I grew up, as I said, in Ohio in the 50s. I was born in 51. My family, we didn't. When Elvis came around, when rock and rolls kind of came around, I was a kid and I took to it. I have an older brother. He was not that interested in music. I just I remember I started listening to the radio when I was probably about 10 or 11. I had a transistor radio and I would listen to WABC. I lived in Ohio, but late at night you could get WABC in New York City, and I would put the pillow over my head and listen to my transistor radio and listen to music. My favorite, my foundation is rock and roll, and it continues to be the music that I listen to. Stuff from the 60s, 70s, a little bit into the 80s. And I have a daughter that's 36, and all her friends, they're always go, boy, Perry, you listen to some weird music, and the weird music is the music that she grew up me playing. I mean, I listen to the soundtrack to School of Rock all the time.
Oh, wow.
It's really great music. I actually didn't mention that I was briefly, I was the lead singer and I played harmonica in a band. We were called the Royal Flush, although I tell people that our band was Joe Commode and the Royal Flush, but it really wasn't. But we were the Royal Flush, and I was the lead singer, and I played, because I didn't play it so well, I played the harmonica. And we played a couple, we played at a Kmart. I think I was a junior in high school, and the guys I played with, I'm embarrassed to say this, I didn't think they were that good, so I quit. And it was hard for me, even though I've ended up being, I didn't know that I was going to end up being an actor and spending a lot of time on stage. It was hard for me to perform in front of people back then. Now it's not so hard. So, but I was in a band briefly. Can't sing as well as I used to because during the pandemic in late 2020, I was struck with throat cancer.
Oh,
and I had radiation. I don't have it anymore. I don't have cancer anymore, but it has affected my voice. Actually, right now I'm in a non-singing role at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. So music has been a huge, huge part of my life. And had I not been able to sing fairly well, though I can't anymore, I would not have gotten Little Shop of Horrors, which transformed my career, and I also met my wife on it. So, and being able to sing has been a tremendous had a tremendous impact on my life, and I track it back to listening to rock music as a kid.
Has music impacted your life in any ways or anything like that?
Yeah, although I am not a big rock fan, I'm more like a jazz person. Of course, I know all the songs from from my youth, but I love movies with music, and there's nothing better than doing a movie where people actually play on screen. If there's live music played on screen, that gets everybody is enticed by that, and everybody is. It's always something magic that is. I did just before I did this move. I did School of Rock. I did the movie with it's called Master Anonymous with Bob Dylan, and where Dylan and he plays. And the last 3 days of that movie was just a live recordings of songs on stage, or whatever. But there's a couple of little places where he sings or whatever. But even not even in the movie, but just between takes when we were lighting or whatever, because he would never leave the set. He would sit with his guitar on the couch and just hum along whatever was happening. And But yeah, there is just nothing more magic than a scene when there's a band playing, or it's always so much fun.
Was that the first movie that you had been a part of?
Well, I mean, the first movie that I've been part of, like the actual like shooting and production of. I mean, I'd done music for films before, but
Right.
never gotten to work on a film. I think once before that, I got to go on set for a film I was doing the score of, but I'd never worked on a film before, so it was cool. I mean, more than I know it's about the kids, but for me, that was the coolest thing, just be able to have an experience of working on a film, because I mean, if I could start over again, that's what I would do. So, that was kind of exciting. And the producers were really nice. At the end of the shoot, they got me a giant framed original poster for Putney Swope, Robert Downey Sr.'s movie.
Oh, wow.
Because they knew I was a Robert Downey Sr. fanatic. And it was really nice. And I forget what they wrote on the back. There was something like "To the Real School of Rock" or whatever, something really nice. And sadly, that's gone, because when I moved to Japan, there was something with my storage of stuff in New York that was supposed to come over later, all got stolen. So which is a bummer, but it was gorgeous. And they were really nice. They were especially nice to someone they didn't really have to even pay attention to, but they were really great. Scott Rudin, I believe, right?
He was the producer on it.
Yeah, Scott Rudin. He was really quite nice to me. I was really grateful for.
I watch it occasionally, not to see myself, but it's such a good picture, and it's timeless. And I was talking to somebody. I'd mentioned that I was in it, and they I don't even recall when they first saw it, but they passed it on to their kids, and apparently it's still out there, and people, clearly it's still out there, because I'm getting residuals. Like, I've been getting residuals for years, and I'm very grateful for that. But it holds up. It's timeless. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing. Now I've got a daughter who's 3, and I kind of showed it to her for the first time. She's a little too young to grasp everything, but she was getting into the music, and it was kind of cool to see her experiencing that for the first time. And
for me, when I watched it, I thought, oh, this is pure magic. When I finally saw the movie, I was floored. I don't know why I was. Everybody who was involved with it is so talented and beautiful and weird. And the entire production between Richard Linklater and Randy Poster, they just accumulated or recruited or attracted the highest end freaks, creatives, and beautiful weirdos that I expected it to be good. I don't know that I quite understood that it was going to be a classic until I saw it. And I couldn't have been more thrilled. It's just a beautiful movie.
So it's something that you do watch somewhat regularly? It's not...
Yeah, somewhat regularly. To be fair, sometimes I just if I come across it and it's like in the middle, I'll go, okay, where is it? Oh, I like this part, and of course, I'll double check and see how much redder my beard, my goatee was. Sort of like no, well, okay, all things change. There are films that I've done, and it's not because I'm not proud of them or I'm not proud of the work. It's just, I still haven't seen. There's one film that I was pretty mad at, and I still haven't watched. So, but yeah, I do enjoy it. It's good writing, it's good performances, and it's a young Sarah Silverman. It's just, there's so many good little nuggets in that movie. It's really, really good. I think it's really well constructed, and there's a whole bunch of friends in it. So I enjoy seeing them again. The permanence is what I think I probably learned from School of Rock, And it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning about you growing up with it, now your daughter growing up with it, and liking and sort of marrying that to the experience that I've had meeting folks who are your age, people who, were maybe 12 or 13 when they first were introduced to it, who, like in their 40s now. And to see the delight, never mind the fact that I was in the film, but that I'm connected to the film that means so much to them. That says to me that filmmaking and particularly this film, which has reached a lot of kids at an age where things really sink in, if they're open to it. That was like wow. It's sort of like, visual novels, books. I mean, it is something solid. It is something real, and it has permanence, and it has lasting effect, and it's still affecting your daughter. I mean, I'll never meet her, but in a way, we already have that. In a way, we've had a visual, we've had a cinematic handshake, and that's kind of cool.
It was fun, and it was also kind of a bit touching, because I kind of related to some of the characters and all that, and it had a bit of a heartwarming message to it, pretty much, like how when you do music, it's not really for competition, it's for passion, pretty much. That sort of lingers with what I took from the movie, pretty much, that music's not really a competition, it's more of a passion. In the end of the movie, they don't win. They don't win the big competition. But in the end, it didn't really matter. Music is kind of like life, pretty much. It's because if you think about it, music is pretty much in our daily lives. You hear it on the radio, you hear people, and sometimes with people, if they're humming, if you're spending time with a person, they usually sing or hum a little song and all that. But yeah, if I describe what music means to me, I think life. And yeah, that's a bit of a great feeling about it, really.
Did you say that Z specifically had a impact on you?
Yeah, because I don't know if you saw the comment I sent to them, but I was going through a bit of a I don't want to say a life crisis, but I was really confused about my sexuality, because I didn't know if I was straight or bisexual, and when I first saw Z in the shows and the theater plays and the movies they were in, they really inspired me, because I don't know if you saw the comment, but I told them that they were pretty much a main inspiration for me coming out to my mom and as bisexual. And while I will admit she didn't take it perfectly, she did take it a lot better than I thought she would.
Most of the stuff I listen to is a lot of pop. So Eminem, Michael Jackson, Limp Bizkit, and then seeing School of Rock. It just opened me up to a whole new world of music, and made me want to play an instrument.
It got you into playing guitar?
Yeah.
How long have you been playing now?
I think 19 years. So I'm coming up on 20 years. I think the winter of 2004 was when I got my first guitar. Music is very important in your life. It's probably the thing that's brought me the most joy and passion.
The first time I saw the movie, I was probably about 10. I went with my mom, and I only have a few going to the movies memories with my mom. She's not a huge movie person, but we went a couple times. Harry Potter was one, and then School of Rock I remember going to. But and my dad was he still is a musician, and I guess my mom thought, well, that'll be a cool movie to take him to, And at that point, I wasn't even playing drums yet. And after seeing the movie, I mean, it was like, it was this cathartic experience of, realizing, oh my God, these kids are my age. This is possible. And look at how cool this is. They're up on a stage and people are screaming at them. It was just such a, it made music feel very possible. Yeah, it was just one of my favorite movie theater experiences ever, for sure. I pretty much came home from that movie and was like, Dad, you have to show me how to play drums. So ever since then, I've been a drummer pretty much. And then I was playing in bands probably by the time I was 13. I'm 29 now. And the studio stuff started kind of out of necessity and just being poor. No, I was like, I can't really afford that much studio time. So maybe if I just get a couple pieces of gear, then I could make these recordings happen myself, and then that turned into a job. So it's been probably my steady work now, my steady job for about almost 8 years. There's something about seeing people your age accomplish something that you previously thought was impossible. So like when you're seeing kids your age do it, and they'll have like fun and interesting personalities, and you can relate to those. The writing in that movie was so great, and then Jack Black being such a great teacher, even though he really wasn't a teacher, Mr. Schneebly. But yeah, he was so good at bringing the best out of those kids in the film. And, you wanted to, it felt that it was kind of like almost like a hero's journey thing for all of them, like they're each on this, there's all different reasons why they want to be good at their instruments and why they feel connected to their instruments. So it was cool to be able to see them work through those little problems that they had, and they each kind of have their own little story of why they had that connection with the instrument.
My name is Abhijit, and I'm from India, and I live in this city called Mumbai. I feel that music really has that sort of power to change, make a change in the communities and make some goodness happen in the community. Just to give you a background about Dharavi, so it is one of the largest slums in Asia. It is home to more than 1 million people. It is one of the biggest recycle hubs, and 80% of Mumbai's solid waste sort of gets recycled on a daily basis and given a new life in Dharavi. So, as I was saying, I was in my young days. These are some of the old photos from my music projects that I was part of earlier. When I was part of metal bands, I was part of fusion festivals, I was part of West African music. And when I sort of moved to, Mumbai from Pune, and I was doing my 9 to 5 corporate job, and one thing was always missing, and which was music, right? And I thought, let me do something with it. And I was doing my 9 to 5 job, and I kind of was missing a sort of, playing music or sort of be surrounded with artists or musicians. And I come from a family of Rotary, where, Rotary is a very big organization where my dad is also part of. And one of the biggest thing of Rotary is always to give back to the community. So I sort of thought that let me give back to the community by actually teaching something to the kids of, slum areas. The overall thought was that you have kids from all sorts of backgrounds, rich class or middle class, and everyone has money to send their kids to all sorts of, proper schooling or, after school classes or, any coaching camps or any extracurricular activities, because they have those facilities and means to sort of provide them. Well, what about the kids from slums? Who's going to give them all these opportunities or platform? Because I feel they are equally talented or more talented because of the background and the struggles that they come from. And there has to be a platform for them. So that's when I actually thought of teaching music to slum kids in Dharavi. And, as you're sort of talking about the movie,
For me, one of the biggest inspiration was obviously School of Rock. It is one of my favorite movies, and I've seen this million times. And I really believe in the ideology of Jack Black going into school and hanging out with these kids and making a band and sort of taking them to sort of giving them real life experiences was really, really cool, and it really sort of inspired me. I remember sort of meeting kids for the first time and understand what do we really do with music. How do I teach in music? So Dharavi, as I said, also happens to be one of the largest recycle hubs. So I thought it would be a really cool idea to sort of make music out of all that we have around, like waste materials, drum barrels, oil cans, plastic waste, whatever waste that we can actually find. We started doing a lot of practice sessions, and I started creating that bond in the community where they started taking interest in music. Later on, I started getting calls from their side that, hey, when are we doing the next practice? When is the next jam? When are you coming to meet us? So they started taking interest because they started finding this fun. Remember, it's a very, very difficult life for the kids who will live in Dharavi. They imagine them living in a 12 by 12 or 14 by 14 small room where a family of 4 or 5 people are staying in one room. And every day that they have to struggle to get water as well. And every evening at around 7 o'clock, they have to get all these buckets and they have to go to a point where they can fill water, which they can use it for the entire day. Their parents have to do, sort of struggle with doing multiple jobs to sort of just survive and make sure that, everyone is taken care of. So it's a little difficult life. That's what I wanted to sort of come and bring a change in the community by introducing music. It really started showing a lot of confidence in them. Suddenly they are traveling across cities and they are performing on this big stage, and they are greeted by people. Audience want to take selfies with all these kids, and they want to sort of tell them how good you are. So it really sort of gave them so much confidence. And it taught them the power of music. It really taught them how to behave on the stage, right? Very, very simple things. If you are coming on a stage, you are a professional musician. You are not someone who's from slums. Keep that background aside. You are coming as a professional musician, and you are supposed to behave in certain way. So kids started behaving in a professional way where, they were able to follow the sound check. They were able to do the performance. They were able to greet everyone, and they were able to have fun as well. They're kids in the end. So they want to have fun as well. So it really sort of boosted their confidence. It gave them, perspective of looking at world in a different way. It gave them so much of exposure that it sort of give them a position in their own community where they started getting a lot of respect from people. Earlier, their parents used to say that this is all waste of time. You should not do this. Just go and earn some money for the family. But when they started seeing their photos in the newspapers, or hearing their audio clips in a radio interview, or seeing their photos next to a film celebrity or anyone popular, then they started believing in this. And then they said that, okay, now I think our kid is doing something good, and I think he's having a good time.
So, any particular message you want to give young musicians in India? You're doing spectacular. So, did he make the music? I've just been given this cards from this dude about the Arabi rocks and music. Yes, so we don't. They all make music on anything. So the thing that I would say is find anything to make music with. It doesn't have to be a guitar, doesn't have to be a piano, it can be anything. Just make music and have fun with it. So what is music for you? Music for me is a release. It's happiness. It's fantastic, man. Welcome to India.
So this was H. talking about the project, which really gave us a lot of good feeling and boosted our confidence that and because he really believed in our project. He says that you can make anything to make music. You should not find excuses to have a good guitar or a good keyboard or a good drum set. Music is around you everywhere. And that was, in fact, my thought as well. If you take even a kid, a small baby, they start tapping on the table, if you see them. So that exact thought was that, whatever we have around, let's have those things around and start making music.
He's trying to act like Jack Black when I bring him to school.
I hope that all the actors and actresses that participated in this film will not view it as something that just happened once in their past. When they were a kid, I was in this movie, and it's not that big a deal, because it was a big deal to millions of people that were inspired by it. And I hope that all the actors, regardless of how successful they eventually become in whatever career they've chosen in the last 20 years, most of these young people are in their early 30s right now. Some of them are just starting their family or whatever, and maybe finding their calling in life. And School of Rock is something that they can always hang their hat on. They can look back to and be proud that they were a part of it. And I hope all of them appreciate that.
Here comes Andrew.
Oh, you know I was on the high road. Got good grades and got no soul. Raise my hand before I can speak my mind. I've been biting my tongue too many times.
And then the magic man said to obey. Now do what magic man do, not what magic man say. Now, can I please have the attention of the class? Today's assignment, you know what it is.
the School of Rock. The School of Rock. And we shall teach rock and roll to the world. There's no way you can stop the School of Rock. Yeah!
It is our biggest dream, Zach, to sort of meet Jack Black and tell them about our project and perform a song with him on the stage and give audience a taste of what Dharavi Reloaded is.
Try to calm me down, but I won't have it. Then we go down the rabbit hole. Then we go down the rabbit hole. Suffer like this every day. I know that it's all in my head, yeah. Taking deep breaths to slow things down, but it don't work. I tried, but here